Hello and welcome to the spin-off of the AnythingGoes podcast, the Anything Bros podcast. It's just me, Aiden, and my brother Rowan, and in this small segment, or relatively small segment, we'll just be talking about more specific topics, usually about things that only Rowan and I are interested in. So, today, for the first one, Rowan had an idea, so I'll let him introduce today's topic.
So the idea was to talk about a little-known manga series and anime, but the anime sucks, Kengan Ashura. And as we talk about Kengan Ashura, hopefully it'll spin out. We'll talk about fighting styles and shows or fighting game characters. We'll just see how it goes. But first I want to start off with a question. Aiden, what is the best fight in Kengan Ashura?
Well, I haven't finished it yet, so...
That's true.
I'm almost done with the original series. And I will say, you mentioned earlier it was, like, little known. And then, like, in a relative sense, that's true. I'm sure there are people out there, if they're watching the podcast, they're, like, really big fans of anime or whatever, they'll know it. But, like, most of them are friends. Even
it's
if
no Dragon
they're
Ball.
Really into they're into anime and they have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like something you might hear, but it's not really that well known. Just to throw that out there in case someone is watching this and go, what do you mean it's not well known? It's pretty popular.
Yeah.
It's not that popular. The best fight. I have to say...
Yeah, this is a tough one.
Sorry, I just hear something in the background.
Oh, no.
I have to say, I think the best fight is probably, so far, either Fang versus Gaolong
Tai God
or Seki versus Muteba.
Yes, that's a very good one.
Although, actually, no, Seki versus the sumo wrestler. I forgot his name.
Well, we'll just call him Sumo
actually.
Guy.
I think his name's Takeru.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, if we're wrong and you're pissed about that, we'll get over it.
It's one of those two. It's between those two. They're all amazing, but I think one of those two are my favorite, actually.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. I think my favorite fight is Seki, who's a pro wrestler. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And a sumo. And Seki's my favorite character too, and right, I just love that fight.
We gotta at least. All right, so now that you've opened with that, let's talk a bit about what it actually is.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Kengan Ashura is a actually fairly interesting premise, in my opinion, which is there's these crazy in this world that they're in. There are crazy badass fighters, like our world or whatever, and there's this underground fighting ring. I believe they're called Kengan matches, hence the name Kengan Ashura.
Yeah.
This underground fighting ring where international companies, like big merchants, come together and settle their differences with these brutal underground matches.
So instead of
virtually no rules.
Yeah, instead of political intrigue, it's martial arts matches.
Yeah, and instead of it's really interesting, actually. The history of it in the show is like, during this period, I mean, it's, historical fiction. It's not real.
Yeah.
But during this period, the merchant guilds in Japan were funding wars and killing each other. And this young shogun is born, and he's like, he's like a kid, but in his like childlike thought process, he comes up with a brilliant idea, which is just fight it out and just have an honest fight. And that is sort of creates this system that spans for centuries that is still used in modern times, except now it's like international hyper-rich corporations making trillion-dollar deals based on these fighters beating the hell out of each other in underground ruleless battles to the death.
Yes.
Well, not necessarily to the death, but oftentimes it can be to the death.
Yes. It is a no holds barred kind of.
No holds barred. I should say that. And you could beat the hell out of in any manner you want, as long as there's a couple rules.
Yeah.
There's no weapons.
Yeah.
Unless you cheat.
I love that rule.
Cheating is accepted, and I'll explain that in the. This is basic info. We should probably get out of the way. If you manage to trick the refs, then they're not going to stop you.
Yeah, isn't it? You trick the refs when they do like the pat down.
Yes, the refs will inspect you and make sure you have no weapons.
Yeah,
and they do a good job. But if you manage to get it past them, then there's nothing they could do to stop you.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that, but it's a bit complicated. There's no reason.
We won't talk about that.
But basically, they beat the hell out of each other with their fists and feet. And it's bloody, it's brutal, and it's all about basically money in the end.
Yeah. For sure. Talking about how there's no holds barred, you mentioned Muteva, who is, I think, the perfect definition of holds barred. He's a really cool character. I don't think we have to describe who the characters are necessarily. I think we can describe the fighting style. But I don't think we need to describe what they look like.
He's basically an African mercenary, like warlord type.
Yeah. Yeah, and
he kills people.
His like main technique is like eye gouges and going for like the easy to break areas and stuff. And
he's a dirty fighter, and that's totally okay. Now, a lot of the people watching the fights, because there are spectators, don't like that, but it's totally legal in the system.
Yeah. Actually, I think we can get into some of the more nitty gritty stuff,
like the main characters,
like I think like some of the really cool fight choreography, I suppose would be or fight flow, I think would be a better word, and also like favorite fighting style as well.
Okay, yeah. So a big part of it is the global aspect.
Yeah,
it's like Street Fighter or Baki, similar to Baki
or Tekken.
It's actually very similar to Baki, I feel like, as far as like
it's like a modern Baki.
Yeah, but in my opinion, it's better. It's more focused. It's
sorry to any Baki fans, of which I'm sure none are watching this, but I don't like the show.
I like Baki somewhat, but I think this is better. One thing to keep in mind is that everyone pretty much is superhuman, but they're not like.
It's exaggerated.
In Baki, the superhuman nature. Baki's another famous martial arts series. The similar brutal fighting. They like pick up the Statue of Liberty and stuff. This isn't like that. It's more like beyond human limits of strength and speed.
This is still martial arts. Just these guys are the gods of martial arts.
Yeah,
is how I would describe it. Like dude gets stabbed in the stomach, but he's still okay and can still do
it's like impossible
SPD or something.
Impossible,
but not improbable. I don't know how to describe
impossible and improbable, but it feels like something.
You know what? There's no Superman.
Yes, it's not Superman. It's not like they're punching down buildings.
Yeah.
But they are punching holes in walls. So.
Or twisting
and
bodies.
Each other. Punching holes in walls and each other. The story's fairly basic to some degree.
You know what it is? It's literally just a tournament.
It's a big tournament. It's one big tournament.
And there's nuances in there for sure.
There is some actual political intrigue in there too. Between two different rival factions.
But the main plot is certainly just kill the other guy, or not kill him, beat the shit out of him.
But beat the shit out of the other guy, pummel him into dust.
So, I really just want to delve into why Seki is the best character. I don't know about you. I can't wait.
You can't just do that yet. You gotta remember.
All right.
People don't know what we're talking about necessarily. Still, we gotta frame it.
Oh yeah, we should plug. This is sponsored by Kengan Ashura. No, I'm kidding. But it is on Netflix. Don't watch it. It sucks.
I really can't recommend the anime. It's a blow up. It's ugly.
You have to, if you're interested in this at all, if this sounds cool, you're gonna have to read it. It's just the way it is. It's ugly 3D. We're not talking like B-Stars, 3D.
Yeah, I don't hate 3D.
We're talking ugly. We're talking Berserk 2016 ugly.
Yeah,
here.
The animation
worse
is bad.
Probably.
The thing is, they got the art pretty good.
Actually,
the animation is not there.
It's horrific.
And the animation would be really important here because the art is beautiful in portraying motion.
Yes.
The art really does a good job with impact, with motion, and brutality. So the fact that the anime does not match that is disappointing.
Yeah.
So if you do look it up, really, really, really recommend you read the manga.
Yes.
Just because the quality is a lot higher.
And honestly, if you don't want to read the manga and you are like, I'd prefer to watch the anime, don't even. I think it would actually ruin it for you.
They take out a lot of cool stuff too.
They take out a lot of cool stuff. It's just not good looking and stuff.
There's good voice acting. I think the music is good, but I don't know. I only watched like a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I could barely get through like an episode or two. It was terrible.
Anyway, so Rowan really wants to talk about specific fighters.
Yes.
That's sort of the theme is Kengan Ashura. Rowan really wants to talk about specific fighters, and I agree. And I think what I'm going to do, Rowan, is I'm going to put up pictures of the fighters as we talk about them.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I was just thinking we need some visuals in there. We should definitely do that.
And specifically, we're going to talk about some of our favorite fighters. Is that correct? So,
and you know, maybe we'll devolve into some recent fighting game news as well. That's just the back, you know, depending on how long this convo goes.
Fighting game. This is fighting. This is basically a fighting game manga, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree. I mean, hell,
there was a crossover with Street Fighter 4,
and it was
in the
awesome.
manga.
It was awesome.
So I think it's pretty clear that like my love of fighting games reflects on this game to a big degree.
Yes,
I mean this manga. Sorry.
No, I
comic
totally know.
If you want to call it comic.
Yeah, I mean if you're a filthy American.
I mean it's a comic. That's what the Japanese call it. Anyway, so your favorite fighter. Let's just get at it. We all know who it is now.
Yeah, it's Seki. He's a pro wrestler. Now the thing is that I like pro wrestling. I don't watch it all the time, but I do enjoy it. You know, I'm a big fan of, you know, Stone Cold. I've watched as much as I could find on YouTube and
yeah,
stuff.
Remember, we are a little young. Like the heyday of pro wrestling was way before us.
Yeah, I was not old enough to watch the Attitude Era, so I could only catch it on YouTube. I haven't watched much of that. So I have a little bit of a bias, but it's not much of a bias.
Yeah, and a lot of your love for it, ironically, does come from stuff like Street Fighter. Characters like Zangief and
Zangief,
King.
yeah, I should say Zangief is my favorite Street Fighter character. So I do have a bias there, but that's not why he's my favorite. I think he is the most charismatic and stalwart. I don't know how to describe.
Yeah, that's a good term. That's
I think
a good
stalwart.
description.
Very charismatic. He's super likable, though. To be fair, a lot of the characters are very likable, but I think he's the most likable. And his convictions, I think, is what makes that sumo versus wrestler fight so good. Because the sumo, spoilers by the way, obviously.
Yeah, there will be spoilers as we discuss. There's a couple fights we'll discuss who wins probably as we bring them up, but for the most part, it'll mostly just be who's fighting each other.
Yeah, the sumo, which I have also relatively large respect for sumo too. It's actually quite exciting to watch. But the sumo kind of throws out a lot of the traditions that are in sumo, and Seki is a classic pro wrestler guy. So it's a fight between sticking to your convictions and I don't know how you would describe the sumo. Do you have any good words for me to use here?
Trying to evolve, maybe. He doesn't. It's not even that he's trying to evolve. It's that he doesn't think sumo is very good.
Yeah, he doesn't think it's good enough.
Like it needs to be supplemented. Whereas Seki is so in his convictions that his fighting style is extra amazing, which is. He, according to him, in pro wrestling, you know, the thing is everyone says and they mention this a lot, is it's fake. You're faking. You know, you're acting. Pro wrestlers are actors. They're not actually fighting. It's scripted. Mm-hmm. And his thing is, just because it's scripted doesn't mean I'm not having the crap kicked out of me. And his whole thing is he does not block at all.
Is so awesome. That
every single attack he takes... every punch, every scratch, every poke, every throw, every knee kick, he takes it all head on and does not block or dodge anything.
Sticking to his convictions. And that's what I like so much about that fight, is because it's not them. It's really more of a battle of wills in that one. and mentality instead of just a physical fight. Which I think, while that's true for a lot of fights in this, which I think is very impressive, this is the one where it was the most obvious to me.
Yeah, the themes are very prevalent in their fighting styles.
Yes.
That's what's good about it. The Sumo is low to the ground. He's hard-headed, but he also is willing to use his arms and legs, and he sort of branches out towards the end and sort of has like his, I guess, technically old Sumo style, and he sort of has abandoned the traditional like Sumo that he has brothers have. Whereas Seki sticks to it and takes in everything, and like he takes in the weaknesses and the strengths of pro wrestling.
For sure, and all of the flaws and all of the strengths.
And he knows it's flawed, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, because he loves it.
I think and because he truly loves it because it changed his life.
Yeah,
which is some of the backstory that we won't, go too deep into.
And actually,
and by the way, he's not even the main character.
Yes,
he's just a side character,
and he's great. The thing is, it actually got me back into wrestling a little bit, and I was like, I'm kind of curious, how true is this? While this is Japanese pro wrestling, it's a bit different. I did look into the WWE, and I noticed that a lot of popular wrestlers like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock have similar stories where it did kind of save their lives, and they have a huge respect for the industry, and they love every part of it, and I realized how actually truly accurate Seki is to real life wrestlers, and that to me improved his character beyond what I already enjoyed. It's hard to describe how charismatic this guy is or how cool the fight is, but obviously you would just have to read it.
There'll be some images to look at, but it's really, reading it will do it justice.
I also want to talk about the Muteba versus Seki fight. This one, I think we have to talk about.
I do want to mention something.
Actually,
about the
you're
writer
right.
and artist.
You're right.
So the writer and artist oftentimes have these little columns at the end of the chapters, and they actually mentioned that the writer is a fan of pro wrestling, which is why he's a fan of all martial arts, but pro wrestling especially, which is why such respect for it comes through on the pages. Yeah. And the artist had never been to a pro wrestling match. And
I remember that story.
And he thought what most of us probably think, which is like fake and like goober crap. It sucks.
Yeah.
And he went and he was like blown away. He's like, holy shit, how could they show that live? Look at all the blood on the ground. Like they're like fighting, rolling in barbed wire and stuff. So it's really interesting to see the experiences, the real experiences these guys have had directly influencing their work.
Yeah, I actually really love reading all of those little columns because it usually talks about the process and how he learned about, what the style is and, how they tried to implement it and keep it accurate while still being a manga. And I thought that was always really cool. But I'm taking up the floor. Aiden, why don't you talk about one of the fights you like? And we'll get back to Seki, the best character, later.
Well, it's kind of hard because
it is hard.
Some of the fights are a lot more grounded. Some of them are more extreme.
Especially the main character fights.
The main characters' fights are more extreme with like some anime style, techniques. Some of them are just like extreme, exaggerated versions of real things that happen in martial arts. So there's a good variety for everyone there. Mm-hmm. And there's some recency bias, but I think that Gaolong versus Fang might actually be my favorite so far.
Interesting.
And the reason for this...
I definitely can agree with that. It's very good.
I love boxing. And
it's
my
cool.
complaint is that boxing, and unless it's a specific boxing anime or manga, in which case most of them are very long. And so it's a big commitment. For sure. It's a big commitment. I'm not necessarily interested in doing something like that.
Yeah.
But most of the time they're jobbers. They suck. It's like, oh, you're a pro boxer? Well, welcome to the real fight world. Like, this is where the underground guys are.
Yeah.
And so they hype up this guy named Gaolong as this amazing fighter. But it's like,
he's Gaolong, a public boxer, by the way.
He's a public boxer. He's the champion. He's a Thai guy. And they call him the Thai God of War. And you're like, okay, yeah, he's cool, but let's be honest. He's on TV. He can't stack up to the underground world of fighting.
Yeah.
Boy, how wrong I was. This guy is a god of war, and his fight against the Fang of Metsudo, I won't say who wins, but the Fang of Metsudo is the premier leader of the Kengan fights. He is undefeated.
He's the top dog.
He is the top dog who has never lost and has won like 200 fights or something. He is a complete... Everyone considers him a monster. He's the easy favorite to win the tournament, and basically no one can beat him.
Yeah.
I won't say who wins, but I will say that I had no idea who was going to win during that fight. It is brutal, it's calculated, and it does a beautiful job showing off boxing as a martial art, which made me really happy to see. Yeah, the power of boxing, the raw nature, the speed, everything about it was so respectful towards boxing. I loved reading it.
Yeah.
But just when I was like, he's gonna get overwhelmed, and I was like, I'm surprised that the Thai God of War doesn't use Muay Thai. He busts out his thing, which is the reason he's called the Thai God of War. After all, why would the boxing champ be the Thai God of War? Yeah, he's Thai, but still, wouldn't he be like the king of boxing?
Yeah.
Well, he got that nickname because he's actually a master of Muay Thai. And he was the greatest Muay Thai practitioner
he was,
in Thailand.
I believe, if I remember correctly, it's been, I think, like a month since I've read this. A month or two. He was disappointed with Muay Thai and how it doesn't use arms enough,
exactly.
Right?
He felt that Muay Thai did not really focus on striking, and he felt incomplete.
Yeah.
And so he went and he mastered boxing in addition to it.
It's
and so in
cool.
the fight, he starts to combine Muay Thai and boxing into his own style. And it really is amazing to look at. And so it's really cool that boxing... It's cool in two ways, because finally boxing gets great representation. And this is the second round, so you see him beat the hell out of someone else too with just boxing.
And that was also very
And his boxing alone is enough to definitely make you go, who's going to win? Just on its own.
For sure.
But then he combines it and makes his own thing. And it also teaches you a bit about Muay Thai and the drawbacks of focusing on one martial art. Because normally, in this kind of story... the guy who, learns one punch is usually the master,
Yeah.
And even in this story, there's some of that to a degree, and it makes sense. But it's also cool to learn that there's disadvantages to having just one style, and that can be exploited.
For sure.
And so branching out and combining styles or creating your own thing when you're a master is also viable. And both of the characters are awesome. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, that I also love Gaolong. I love boxing. I was super into it quite a few years ago, and the thing is that as cool as boxing is, I am an entertainment guy, so I can't sit around watching a long drawn out boxing match. I just can't do it. But so being able to see boxing represented in its high octane way, but also in the strategic way that you see a lot in TV, was just brilliant. It really is just straight up brilliant, and it's very impressive. I love it. I love it so much.
I also really liked the Oma versus what's his name? Starts with a K, I think. It's a crazy guy.
Yeah. Does it have an R in it? Something? What's his name?
Ryan.
That's
Raian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that guy is crazy. Now, that's more of an anime fight.
Oh, for sure. Those guys are like a new, an original style to this manga, I believe, right?
And they're based on modifying their body.
Yeah. So there's like some.
Oh, so Oma is the main character.
Yeah. There's some Super Saiyan stuff going on. There. It's
almost a bit like Gear Second from One Piece, if you know what that is. Or, I'm sure there's something similar.
I say Super Saiyan Kaioken. Because. Oh yeah, Kaioken's better. Because I was gonna say it's
like a brutal, bloody version of Kaioken.
It's a rated R version of Kaioken.
It's very cool.
It's very
and
cool.
It also gives you good variety between the more realistic, again in quotes, realistic depictions of something like Muay Thai or pro wrestling or sumo, based on people who actually do it versus an original thing about, increasing your blood pressure and stuff like that to, make yourself stronger. It gives a lot of flexibility and it changes the pace in a nice way.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's cool. The thing is that I just wanted martial arts. I just wanted to read a martial arts, manga, because it's like, I feel like we don't see that very often. And if there is martial arts, it always ends up having like, you got like Stundu Power or something, and
yeah.
And so
what was it? God of High School run?
Yeah, God of High School, which is a webtoon. And it was like the first part is like just straight up martial arts, and it's really cool. It's obviously exaggerated, and then they just get like stands, and you're like, oh.
And they start like shooting
lasers, and then they start shooting beams and shit, and you're like, I mean, this is cool. It's not what I signed up for.
It's not what you signed up for.
It's not what I signed up for.
Kengan Ashura definitely sticks to its just bloody beatdowns.
Yeah, it's like Toriko. Shit, people don't know what Toriko is. It's like Toriko though, where it just sticks to its guns. It knows what it is, and it's proud to be that.
And it doesn't go completely bonkers like Baki.
No,
where Baki is, instead of like, this is like a very simple tournament based story. Baki, there's like cavemen and ice that like they melt up and wake up. His name is like Pickle, and he like punches buildings down.
What's the giant
Olivia
African American man?
Olivia. There's a guy who's like 10 feet tall.
You gotta put that in.
Yeah, he literally looks like the
show
Hulk.
People that.
He's pretty cursed. Like, he looks like the Hulk.
He's very cursed.
And like there's guys who are like climb up sheer like steel silo surfaces using their fingertips and stuff. It kind of just goes off the rails in a way that people like, and I understand.
Yeah.
But this manages that line a bit better if you're interested in the martial arts aspect. Again, not realistic. There are realistic martial arts manga, but this is like almost more like Bloodsport. The manga.
Yeah, it is like Bloodsport.
This is more about like entertaining or like R-rated kung fu movie style action than almost like a documentary of a real of a real martial arts tournament.
Yeah,
this is about underground fights to the death or near death, and there's a lot of near death.
Yes, a lot of near death. Actually, I was pretty shocked. Most people do not die. There was one time where I was actually pissed that I thought a character was dead, and then it turns out he wasn't dead, and I actually like. While I was in my bed, I did like a fist bump and like hit my nightstand and hurt my knuckle. Was it the? There's Robinson.
Yes, exactly. And I felt bad for him.
I felt so bad for him. And actually, there is a sequel series, and I am currently reading it.
Is he?
Slight spoiler: he comes back.
Nice.
I'm just gonna spoil this for you. He doesn't. They try and qualify for another tournament, and he doesn't get in. But honestly, his like sister is like, oh, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think they were both glad, and I was glad. I didn't want to see him get ripped to shreds.
He's like a cool guy.
He was a cool dude. Everyone's cool actually, except for the people you're supposed to hate.
Yeah, there's
everyone.
3 or 4 characters you actually don't like, but most of the characters are surprisingly refreshing and likable. Which is surprising. They beat the hell out of each other in the ring. They absolutely pummel each other, and they go crazy, and they get violent and bloody. But when it's over, remember, they're being paid to do this. This is a tournament. So they don't hate each other. For
sure. The one that shocked me the most was Fang. I thought he was going to be an evil asshole. It turns out, he's kind of an idiot.
He's actually kind of an idiot.
Yeah, he's kind of an idiot. Like,
there's a lot of good comedy.
Yeah, I honestly, I really like, there's like these like spin-off comics at the end of each chapter.
Yeah.
I love those because it makes it feel like all of the characters get to hang out with each other when obviously in the story they can't do that. And I really like those a lot. Yeah, so I don't know.
One of the characters I think you're not supposed to like, or at least kind of creeps you out, is I think Muteba.
Yeah, the thing is I think Muteba is a charismatic person. I wouldn't call him likable.
Yeah,
perhaps
But you wanted to mention the Muteba Seki battle.
Yes, which I think is also one of the best. All of Seki's fights are I think like top 5. Like
Yeah.
2 of the slots go to Seki because,
Yeah.
and that's not just because the Seki is cool, but also because his opponents are like, matched really well with his style, and that is a fight where it is someone who has maybe not a lot of respect for the other fighter. I mean, Muteba, I'm talking about, likes wrestling. He's a fan, but I wouldn't say he has respect for Seki.
I mean, they're actors. He thinks he's a faker.
Yeah. And Seki continues to stick to his guns despite the fact that he is constantly losing.
Yes,
throughout the fight, he's outmatched.
Yeah, if Muteba's all about dirty fighting and you can't block according to your own ideals, that's a bad matchup.
Yeah, it's a terrible matchup, and I will have to spoil the ending because it's so good. That's the best part of the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Muteba wins basically, and then Seki stands back up.
Yeah, which is the
which I don't know about you, but I did that PogChamp face.
Yeah.
I did that PogChamp face, and I felt a shiver go down my back because that was the hypest thing. It was so cool. And then he stood back up, but he's out. It was like a reflex. Yeah. And then Muteba pins him like a wrestler and does a 3 count because he found respect for Seki, and I love that. Yeah. That was a great part for me because I was like, oh my god, this mercenary dude fighting a fake martial artist found respect for him, and I love that kind of stuff. I fall for that cheesy kind of shit all the time. That's why I love One Piece,
Yeah, I think that is a really good fight.
Yeah.
But I was also sad because obviously you really wanted him to win.
Yes, I wanted Muteba to get farther. I mean, not Muteba, but I wanted Seki to get farther. But I at that point, that was when I was like, oh shit, maybe Muteba's kind of a cool dude.
Yeah, but then he goes back to being a weirdo.
And then he goes back to having sex with every woman in the building or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like really weird.
You're like, what?
Cool. Like, okay.
Okay, buddy. Can't show that on YouTube.
Yeah. Speaking of women, Kengan Ashura has the most alpha woman ever in it. And they literally call her the alpha female.
Yeah.
And basically she's the leader of like the hostess industry.
Yeah.
In Japan, and her whole thing is
reminded me of Yakuza 0.
Yes. You like look at her and you're like, you expect like the alpha female to be like a kung fu master lady or something.
Yeah.
But that's not what's scary about her. What's scary is she could just instantly manipulate anyone.
Yeah.
And she's just like an absolute terrifying force to be reckoned with in a way.
I like that a lot.
I don't even think she's not even mean or anything.
No, she actually
like her genuine compassion or not even necessarily, well, her outward compassion and charm can win over anyone instantly, and I thought that was a cool way of making a like quote alpha female character.
Yeah, I was
like
actually...
instead of just being like a bad bitch like you'd expect.
Yeah,
she's like this. She's a character that only could be a woman. Really.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. I would call her. The shocking part to me is that I expected her to be like manipulative or something, and while she is conniving in the fact that she's a businessman, she's not like a backstabber or anything, which I thought was actually very shocking.
To show off how much of a beast she is, one of the most powerful assassins, basically that I know of so far, who's really OP. Shows up to execute her, and she instantly wins his heart just by like talking to him. And now he's totally like clay in her hands.
Yeah, and actually their relationship is actually really adorable. Yeah. But throughout the whole thing, I was like, all right, when is she gonna
cut this guy loose?
Yeah,
I haven't finished it yet, so I won't.
I won't say anything, but I was definitely waiting for that the whole time, and I was surprised at how it actually went down. It was shocking. Maybe we'll come back to that once you finish it.
Well, I think it's interesting because it's a character that I think could only be a woman.
Yeah.
And normally, although I do like characters who are like badass girls, a lot of times they're basically could just be a guy. So it's cool to see a character. It sort of reminds me of Wonder Woman in the Wonder Woman movie, where it only works because she is a girl. And that's cool.
Talking about Wonder Woman, I actually love that portrayal of her because recently in the comic books, she's been kind of that, bad bitch archetype. and it's disappointing to me, you know?
Yeah.
And so the fact that in the movie she is a character that only a woman could be, I think was great. I think that was fantastic. Or at least it would be
so much harder to do it as a guy.
Yeah, for sure. I just loved that.
It's just a lot harder. The whole like mother aspect of it that gets played into it is why it's so much harder for a man to take that role.
For sure. Like I would say, you know, it's equality, you know, in movie, but also like accentuating the fact that she is a woman, and I think that's really cool.
Exactly.
I
think
that.
I actually like seeing that. It's very refreshing nowadays. I think.
Mm-hmm. I think those are the best kind of female characters, in my opinion, or when you're able to make a character that is strong but still
feminine,
accentuating the femininity of their gender, which I think is great. Anyway. I don't know. Now talking about femininity, I don't know if you actually want to talk about this. I'll bring it up though. We had a few fighting game trailers.
Yes.
We're talking about fighting styles here, so I thought that would be a good segue.
Yes,
wow, that actually is
that was
very
not
smart.
A good segue that you did, but earlier we brought up fighting games. We brought up fighting games earlier because they really gives me the vibe of if a fighting game was a manga.
Yeah.
And especially like Tekken or Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So I think the switch over to fighting games isn't unfair. In fact, I think it's a pretty natural switch.
Yeah.
As long as you don't force a segue too hard.
And anyway, by the way, we're sponsored by Viz Media. No, actually, before we get into fighting games,
Viz,
I would like to shout out Viz. It's not a sponsorship, obviously, but it's $2 a month. And you get like hundreds. You get unlimited. You can read every chapter of One Piece for $2 a month and a bunch more shit.
By the way, that's over 900 chapters.
Yeah,
almost 1,000 chapters alone.
If you were like me, obviously we're not sponsored, so I can admit to this, and you're reading shit illegally, or not illegally, but you know, getting it for free, and you felt bad about it, this is a great way to support your favorite artists.
And it's not like, and the thing is, for a lot of people, the price of anime and manga is just outrageous.
It's too expensive. It really is.
I think, hold on, I'll look it up while you're talking. But I think one volume of One Piece is at least $20.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. And actually, about Viz, you can buy volumes of stuff that they don't have the free chapters for. For like example, I think one of the really more popular things recently is Beastars, which I personally love. And while the chapters are not in the $2 a month pack, you can buy the volumes for like $6. That's a really good deal.
And you get it anywhere. You can download it.
You can get it. Quality. You can have it on, I think, any amount of devices. I don't know if there's a limit, to be honest. I have it on at least 4.
East Blue and Baroque Works alone. So 23 volumes. Ugh. I think the story has
I think we're up to 62 volumes or some shit.
Over 70 volumes, possibly.
Oh, shit. It might be. I don't even know.
Hold on. I'll look up how many. But just that alone is over $100.
Yeah. So it's a good deal. I just want to shout them out because it's so great. Anyway,
there's 96 volumes.
Oh, my God. We weren't even close.
Based on what I'm looking at here, it would be around $400.
Yes.
To read all of it. Instead, you could pay $2 a month and have it anywhere on as many devices as you want. You can share with your friends.
And you know what? Honestly, I'm not even lying. I've read it 3 times since I got Viz earlier this year.
Bro, chill.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Anyway, fighting games.
Yeah, we'll talk about One Piece another day.
So let's start with the oldest stuff. Street Fighter V, Season 5. We know nothing. But the fact that there's another season after 4 really turned the game around is great.
I am very happy with that. I know a lot of people were not happy with Street Fighter V. I personally love it. And I felt like Season 4 ending with like 2 characters, you know, because it was a weird split because there were like one character in like December, like a few years ago, Kage, and then they had like 3 characters, and then they had 1 character, and then they had another one. It was a weird way they did it. I didn't like that. So I'm hoping that they'll end with a real bang and we'll get all 5 within a short amount of time, or at least a big pack of them at some point. But
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
That's old news. We don't know anything.
Yeah.
We'll just start with that. Then we got Smash character.
Now, I think we should at least bring it up, but I think we will be doing a more in-depth after we play the character. This is recorded the 24th. Min Min comes out Monday, so hopefully we'll have one around that time.
And Min Min looks really good. She's basically Dhalsim, which is, I think, what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to say about it without actually playing the character. We'll get more in depth if we do another one of these next week. Which I do
think she looks very unique, and I like unique. Byleth was a huge disappointment because he was not unique at all. I'm not against another Fire Emblem character, but he was just boring. I hope she is unique and fun instead of just that. But anyway, on to the bigger stuff.
Yeah, so yesterday was New Game Plus Expo, and that had some big fighting game news. The first was we got a gameplay trailer for Zato and Milia.
Heaven or hell. Slap.
From the new Guilty Gear.
Which,
the trailer itself was like very rushed, it seemed.
No voice
voices,
acting.
Sound quality wasn't really there. No new themes. So it was just the normal.
It was just smell
music.
of the game, which trust me, I've smelled that game a lot. It smells good.
I mean, the trailer was, it's just whatever.
There was some interesting
very
stuff
good.
there. There was some cool stuff there.
Eddie in particular, which is Zato's little minion he summons. Maybe I'll put clips in.
I love
amazing.
his new design. I love that.
The new design is amazing.
He's so creepy.
The new characters look great. Well, they're not new. They're old, but
their new designs look great.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the new designs look great.
And the new animations and stuff.
New animations are gorgeous. I think that Milia looks beautiful. She looks amazing. And she's big.
I swear to God, I hope it. What is up with every character that they're adding to this game being super thick all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know. They're very
Everyone
thick.
is
it's a very
huge.
very thick art style.
Yeah. I'm not against that.
I'm not against it, no. But anyway, that was cool.
I do want to mention, I thought it was funny that you could see Milia's like midriff / belly button through her like 8 layers of clothing she's wearing.
No, they have to have that.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, I also specifically, I'll say, Eddie or Zato looks quite a bit different.
Yeah,
but also in some ways the same. He still has the command grab.
Well,
he still has some nasty looking mix-ups.
Yeah,
and Milia looks the most like a Guilty Gear character so far.
The thing is that the air dash was really fast, but they only showed it for Milia, which makes me think that hers might just be extra fast. But I hope that is the actual speed for air dashes, because that, I think, would improve the game flow overall. Despite me being a very bad Guilty Gear player, I would like the flow to be faster, I think.
Yeah. One thing I noticed from the game, at least one thing, like when I played the demo, so this is me speaking.
Yeah, I did too, actually.
I played the beta, I played some online matches and stuff. So one thing is, if you air dash later in your jump, it's slower. If you air dash faster, like sooner you air dash, the faster. So I think.
Wait, you mean as soon as you jump,
if you do an instant air dash,
super fast?
Instant air dash, you go faster.
Oh, okay.
It's not full speed for every character, but it is faster.
Okay.
Some characters are faster or slower, so it's more of a character specific.
So you think the jumps she did were instant air dashes?
I think Milia probably has both, and that like Chip, her air dash is very fast.
Yeah.
But it's not instant.
Okay.
And characters with slow air dashes will probably keep slow air dashes. I think that's going to stay.
I think that's fine, actually.
The thing is, a lot of people, I think their first reaction was, wow, air dashes suck now?
Yeah.
But they're actually stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to anti-air and air dash if they can change the trajectory and speed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think actually air dashes are very powerful in Strive.
They're just, for me, as a... What am I, actually? Am I a casual? I play fighting games a lot.
You're like
but I'm
me.
not into them. You know what? I would describe it as this. I'm an adept casual.
Yeah, you're a very
Aiden, you're probably more of a beginner intermediate player, I would say.
I do go to tournaments occasionally.
I do not.
I haven't been in a long time. Obviously of COVID. But I have played in some tournaments. I have actually won some tournament matches. But I'm not gonna win an actual local still.
Yeah.
You know, I don't grind that I don't really grind that hard. I don't really grind online. I just like playing for fun.
But you're more of a mechanics guy. I'm more of a feeling guy.
I do like going into mechanics. I like grinding out the games. I like practicing combos.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about winning that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like online. So I just go to locals to hang out with people and just get some games in and have fun. I'm not really, grinding to win a regional or, to win a local tournament. That's just, I don't really care.
Yeah. So I would say as an adept casual, the air dashes felt icky to me.
Yes.
Especially at first, I was like, I actually like the new Guilty Gear quite a bit. Again, as an adept casual, I like Street Fighter V. So if you disagree with me on that, well, you're
probably making people angry just by saying
you can
that. But
suck it. It's the best game ever made. Woo,
if that makes you mad, fuck you.
but they felt icky, and then you told me about that thing, and I was able to start kind of changing trajectories. It's hard for me.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But once I started being able to do that, I was like, oh shit, this game feels even better than before. And I love the Roman cancel system. I think it's great.
Yes, I think the Roman cancel system is really good. I actually say this as someone, XR had helped me get into the series, but I didn't play XX. I didn't play Plus R. If you know Guilty Gear, and for some reason, somehow you watch this and you know Guilty Gear, and you're like a big fan, you're probably like, what a baby, dude. Yeah. This guy's an XR baby? What a dumb bitch. Yes, I know. I am aware of that. I'm not an OG or something. I'm not a god.
Not going to profess to be.
Yes, I'm not even pretending to be. So I'll say this. I understand why Strive would make people upset.
Oh, for sure.
I totally get it. In fact,
I get
Rowan
that.
can tell you, my first reaction was crushing disappointment.
Well,
when they showed
your second reaction.
No, when they saw the gameplay.
Oh,
yeah. That gameplay stream.
In fact, I was the one trying to cheer Aiden up during that whole time. I was, because it was crushing disappointment. And that was a rough time for fighting game fans.
After getting to play the beta and trying it out, I could see why people still not like it, but I actually had a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's not exactly what I picture Guilty Gear as, but it still has some things that I'm like, yeah, that's Guilty Gear, and it's like I said, the most important thing is I think it's actually a lot of fun to play.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really looking forward to it now. Whereas before, I think there's some things I can see a lot of big flaws in it, especially HUD and multiplayer lobbies.
The thing for me is the damage, personally.
The damage
That's the worst.
Is way too high. Oh, you can't even play the freaking game. I mean,
besides the online lobbies, that's the worst thing in my
online
opinion.
Lobbies are atrocious.
I can deal with shitty UI. I can't deal with shitty damage because it is way too high.
You literally can barely play the game.
It's like 15 seconds each round?
Yeah, the average round was probably like 10 to 15 seconds.
It's way too quick.
It's too quick. Unless we were playing online against each other, it goes faster because we know each other. But I never once got close to timeout. It's just too fast. The damage is way too high. But still, the game is fun. However, that wasn't the best piece of info. Because the best thing to come out of this entire year has to be Warden from For Honor getting into Sam Show.
What the hell?
And the most goddamn batshit crazy, never knew I wanted crossover I've ever seen in my life.
I love it. I unabashedly love that.
This is the best crossover, at least, since Terry and Smash.
Yes.
And again, it's SNK popping off and making the crazy dreams happen.
I love it.
I can't believe it.
It's great.
For Honor is a really cool game, and Warden is a really cool guy.
He's just generic Nightman, and I love that.
That's why it's so good.
He's
just
generic Nightman.
He's literally just a knight who slash.
Yeah.
And goddamn, he looks amazing.
Yes.
SNK is popping off right now with that announcement.
Yeah.
It was sick.
And man, I love Sam Show.
Yes.
I'm definitely, you know, as an adept casual, I'm a footsies anti-execution guy. I'm not against hard to play games because I do love me some Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yes.
I suck at them, so I prefer to be good at games, and I'm pretty good at Sam Show, and so I love it.
At the very least, you could dab on all our friends.
Yes.
In Sam Show.
Get called out, suckers. I'm better than all of you.
Especially Eli. Eli doesn't block. Sorry, Eli. I know this is your channel. You gotta start blocking, man. Seriously.
Yes, I love Sam Show, and I like For Honor. I think I love the character designs in that. They're just they're realistic, but also not. They're like high fantasy realism.
Exactly.
And so seeing generic Nightman in a game where there are no generic knights makes him feel really unique visually. And
yes. And it's just a weird and cool crossover.
It's so crazy.
I'm hoping For Honor gets popular again because it's a really cool game.
I've seen some minor negativity from older Sam Show fans because they just want older characters or whatever. Yeah. But I've seen a lot of people from the For Honor community be like, "Oh shit, dude, I might get this game." And then you see some people from the more casual, newer Sam Show being like, "Oh shit, dude, For Honor, getting that on sale." I am.
And then there's us who like both already.
Yes.
Ronan and I actually played some 5 Special before the new Sam Show even came out.
Yes. We dabbled. We dabbled.
I've known about Sam Show for a long time.
Yeah.
So I may not be an OG when it comes to something like Guilty Gear or, any kind of game. For instance, Vampire Savior, I'm not an OG, also known as Darkstalkers.
Yeah.
But I know my shit.
Yeah,
I know.
You know your shit.
I know about the games. I know what systems they're on or whatever. I know a lot of the top players, not personally, but I know who they are.
Yeah,
at least in America.
I mean, I do to a certain degree.
So I'm not a complete retard. Basically, is what I'm
an
saying.
Adept casual, as I said.
As someone who loves fighting games, I'm hyped. So you have like us over here who like fighting games, and we're like, yeah, let's go, boys.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, it's you know what it is. It's honestly, it's pretty much as unbelievable as everyone is here.
Yep,
because it just comes out of left field and
it's like,
smacks you. It just
and everyone thought it was gonna be Cham.
Yeah,
and it was just Warden, who I think is so much cooler than Cham.
Yeah.
Cham's
whack. Sure. I saw some people saying like, I hope it's a Soul Calibur crossover.
Yeah, it would be cool.
That would actually be sick. But I like the kind of coming out of left field thing because we already have the Sam Show Soul Cal. Oh yeah, and I love Soul Calibur too. I can't wait for the next characters.
Yes.
I already bought the season pass.
We like fighting games. We own like every fighting game on PS4.
Pretty much much as all the big ones, I think.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, all the big ones.
Even some little ones.
Even some
little blasters. That was a blow up. We'll go into that.
I actually like that game.
Yeah, but
I do like that. I like that game. I hate playing it with like Ronnie.
Yeah. I hate playing
because somehow Ronnie ends up being the best player. And he sucks.
He's the best.
I don't know.
Retard.
He's the best retard.
Exactly.
Calling you out. I think he'll actually be complimented.
Wake up, sleep, smashes, grab mid screen, and then does like a short Yukin when you walk up. I don't know. He's just
he's me when I play Zangief, basically.
Yeah. He's just flailing and it works, and it's annoying.
Yeah. That's a crazy game.
So let's do a quick recap. Kengan Ashura is great. Your favorite fighter,
Seki.
Mine's Gaolong. At least the favorite, as far as favorite fights go. We went into detail a little bit. Talked about some fighting game news. What else did we talk? We talked about something else in there. I already forgot.
Yeah. So I assume you want to wrap this up.
Yeah.
However,
we got to.
I would like to throw out a reading suggestion. Just came out. I've been saving this for the inauguration of the first episode. Time Paradox Ghostwriter.
No!
What? No.
No, I know about it. I've seen it.
It's great.
I've kept up on it. Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it.
Have you read it?
I've read it, yeah.
Really? You don't like that?
I don't like that. I don't know. I want to know if I don't like it. I just don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's very odd.
It's mostly because I'm all about like, you know what? I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this some other time.
I'm just saying, you know, the thing is I'm throwing that out just because it's something new that most people probably haven't heard of yet.
No, listen,
as far as I can tell.
Quality,
however,
hold
on. However, that was just the precursor to what I actually wanted to suggest, and we were going to be talking about next time. Mori King.
Yes! I knew you were gonna say.
If you guys have not read Mori King,
Kino.
what the fuck are you doing? Go out there and read Mori King. It's the best thing right now. Actually,
get out of here! Stop watching.
I like Mori King.
I like Mori King too. but that was a joke.
Actually, I suggest reading Mori King.
Mori King is good. Mori King is lighthearted and fun.
If you want something fun and stupid, read Mori King.
All right, get the hell out of here.
Do you have a suggestion?
Yeah, Mori Kino, dude. I already said.
Mori Kino. All right.
Yeah, Mori King.
Fine. All right. Read Mori King. This is sponsored by Mori King Chans, which is our new Discord. We'll have a link. And hit us up. We can talk about Mori King.
Get out of here.